January 7, 2023. Marcus Giavanni here. Kelly Brough at YouTube handle by Marcus Giavanni. When you understand what handles are, and when Denver understands that they're the new HR department to get rid of all these people and all their lies and deceptions and all their, and it's only a few, and we identified them. And when we took them to court, when I sued Deborah Johnson, that was our final way to prove that, one, location. If you're going to do something, you better have the right authority address, whether it's, and the best one is court. Second, courtroom. Can't get any higher than that. So when I sued them, I already predicted what was going to happen. And I knew I wasn't going to be on the ballot, but I wanted to stop the e-sign verification. I wanted to get the 3 to 4 people that I had to have come in through that courtroom. And they did, like Manny Moe and Jack, man. You know what I mean? I didn't get my contact, nothing. I just kept looking forward, and they could just look at my backside. Lick it up, dudes and ladies. And then I battled the city attorneys that all came in fully cocked with all their papers and all their people, and it stunk like bacon, man. I'm not gonna lie, it smelled like bacon in there, man. I had a bunch of pigs and all their doo-doo was on me, man. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I can tell you this, folks. I stood my ground in front of a judge that I thought was, for what tools we had, he's up there. We do have some good judges, folks. I've been up to a couple of them, and they did what they had to do. And I just believe that in certain situations, especially pro se, a judge should guide litigation a little. So, especially if there's children involved, he's the absolute ruler. Look at a program called Your Honor, and that's the judge I like. I didn't like everything else that he did, but I understand why he did what he did, because I probably would have done it with my kids. I would have protected them even if it was the wrong thing to do. But I taught my kids not to do anything bad like that, and so they don't. The only thing that bothers me about the whole court system is they really didn't have my children's best interest in mind. That's for another story. Now this story here, we gotta make it quick. When you look at Kelly, this is all of my content. See, when you bring together everything Kelly has ever said, I've indexed it in accordance with her being a mayor, accordance with her making $474,000 a year. That's more than Barack Obama, folks. That's more than any president. I don't know what they're making now, but you know, that's a lot of money to be just talk. All she does is talk. And so now when she talks, it gets pattern matched. Can she do it or not? And there's no not. It's all not. Not. Because she's outdated. Even when she got her made up position just for her to pad her resume. I don't know if anybody knows what packing or padding your resume is. By a group of people that are node connected to a certain investigation, let's say. And so they're all conspiring to get this woman elected, and they're going to go as far as even the ballot committee within the Denver elections, and the clerk and recorder, Paul Lopez's office. This is why nobody went against him. I had one person, I was trying to convince him, but then as we talked, Paul Lopez needs to own this. He's going to own this. He does own this. But when he lied to me about Denver having a $550 million surplus. And King Soopers, by the way, we happened to meet. Ask him. And then ask him who was standing around him. See, he don't know that because Paul can only see what's in front of his face. Because if he would have seen and would have known who I was, that's a little guy, man. He looked little to me. for having such a big mouth. And I don't have a big mouth, folks, because I'm only repeating what people tell me. That's what makes my content more valuable than what comes out of Kelly's mouth. Because I didn't have a slew of people that worked within the court system, within the election system, to rig it so that she wins. No matter what goes played out, she's going to win. And that's not right. And this is why a Democrat has been in office for 60 years. Breaking the Spear Amendment. And when you learn about the Spear Amendment that was signed May 17th, 1916, by Honorable Mayor, Democrat turned non-political, because he knew what a partisan election, what a partisan government would look like, and he said, no, the power will remain in the hands of the people, not nonpartisan, non-political. And then in 1963, as I said, someone came in. I keep getting indicators, Dottie Lamb. Her name comes up a lot, Dick Lamb. And see, Dick is not here. They buried that lamb. So Dottie's left holding the bag. And I can just hear Dick now. Dottie, you need to slow it down, girl. So, anyways, when you take a look at this, right here, these are all, everything that ever, whatever she's done. And see, I have the authority to write these things. Not only as a organic author, which means raw, cuss words, alternative. If it hurts your ears, but yet I'm making sense, go to church and pray for everyone, especially yourself, if you pass judgment on me. So this is the time where now everybody's going to be held accountable for what they do. Because that's what God did. God gave us absolute authority for a free will. Whatever we want to do. And that's when that hot-looking Eve came behind the tree. And Adam was hungry too. So he got himself an apple and a hot chick. And so, if that's the case, and they were all from the same seed, they all have, I don't know. I don't know how that story goes. I know how it goes, but if you look at the story here, Kelly is the snake. And it's all written right here, folks. So Kelly can bullshit. Like, if Kelly was such a high-end chief strategy officer, why didn't she go by City and County of Denver, LLC? As a strategy officer, you had to have known certain events are going to change in the digital world in order to even be able to distinguish between the government and the city, commercial, networking, organizations. That's what I did. I indexed it. And I started by, in the way beginning, folks, telling certain people that they needed to buy these assets. And, that's when Scott Cardenas, remember the $4 million? That was after, but then after that followed the Scott Cardenas $4 million fine to Oracle. $4 million, folks. Do you know we could put clothes on every one of our children that are poor? Get them top of the line stuff. Look better than those that are paying for it. Give them all free. That's why we need to do uniforms in school. This is why they all look alike, and their whole main thing is school. So, but the teachers have created the atmosphere to which they teach because they didn't have any courage to stand up for themselves, and the unions that represent them represents more of an ideology of the ruling government than the ideology that they're supposed to represent their employees, if you will, members. And so what happens is now everything gets indexed. All those people, bam, it's already indexed. But now it's continuing. It doesn't go away. And this is what the smartest guys running Kelly stuff, they can't see this. And it's long form. So their thing is, oh, don't worry, Kelly. No one's going to go type all that out. You got no clue, bros. You have no clue about anything. And that's why you see nothing about Kelly. And everything I tell you I'm going to do is there. So when you chop that sentence down up there, that search term up there, when you chop it down, that's what I do. I just suck it dry. All the digital content that Kelly writes, I own all those words, folks. So anything that Kelly mentions on YouTube, all of her handles, everything, man. We got, okay, so when you go to the election process, right? We're going to go ahead and open this up. These are PDFs. This is what the city gave to the candidates that turned in their municipal candidate affidavits, which declares you to be running for office. And the very first person that got one was Kelly. See? And so when you get a PDF from the city, it shows up. It shows up. And depending on where you are in it, it'll show variants. Like all the candidates should be on the first page, just like with Kelly. But they don't write the content like that. So if you look at Kelly Brough board resume, 30 years of experience, Denver Chamber. She don't even work there anymore. You see how she's outdated. She doesn't even go and update her equipment. So when people look at this stuff, they're like, oh, I thought, oh, so she's still with the chamber. Oh, I thought. And then the truth, you PDF clerk, bam, bam, bam. City and County of Denver, that's going to stay. That's going to stay. That's going to be operated by the citizens of Denver, because when their government gets indexed, because they're able to pull this big shkanuka on all the citizens of Denver that keep on voting the same way because they think that they're important, and they are important when we are all Denver. But when they are a partisanship government that's controlled us for 60 years, it's got to stop, because you're not going to be coming on to the metaverse. And how I know that is I created all the source code to keep you guys where you belong. And I swore that you would never take another fucking kid from a person's life ever again. The judges, Karen Hubler, Monica Jackson over there at the Denver Health and Human Services, who no lawyers will take the case because, why? This is why I need to be mayor. Because allegedly they put a stamp on a document that had no truth to it, because they collected the money already. And when they put that stamp on there, that's a federal crime. The judge, Karen Hubler, my ex's attorney, the respondent was Karen Hubler. She knew where I live. She knew I can't go anywhere without notifying the court, especially with my kids. And yet the respondent was allowed to break every rule. She bailed in April 2012. And I was told if I tried to file any kind of anything, and I did file something, but they squashed me down, and she was already living out of state, folks. And all those judges, So Karen Hubler, I had to file my own recusal to get her off my case. I couldn't find any lawyers willing to jeopardize any of their cases, so they went ahead and went against the serpent, another snake. See, you got a lot of women that are snakes in this group of bloviated women, first group, the First Women's Club. And see, what they don't understand is that their voices, everywhere they go, all their emails, everything, even if they're judges, do not escape the indexing of artificial intelligence. And soon there'll be a way to, when they vote for the retention of a judge, did you know that there's applications right now that we can go and put all the cases in against the cases that are law and then pattern match them, and you come up with the reality of what that case is really worth? So in precedence and in monetary. And when you throw in integrity and dignity and all those other forthwith accolades that a government and or a judicial system needs to be functioning for the betterment of the citizens and not the betterment of a party. And so when Denver was indexed in 2010 as a non-partisan government, that was because that's what they were saying. It said it in where Stephanie O'Malley, the daughter of Wellington Webb, my law firm was Webb and Stuhl. Joe Webb was her uncle. My attorney was Richard Daley. And from the law firm Webb and Stuhl, the most two honorable men I ever met that possibly could have damaged their law firm so that the citizens of Denver could have a right to petition. That was in 2011, folks. That's real stuff. And most people don't even know that Stephanie O'Malley is Wellington Webb's daughter. Mayor Wellington Webb, by the way. And so now she works at the governance board or something with the University of Denver, and on it, it states there that Denver can be a nonpartisan government, Denver is a nonpartisan government in that the candidates can be party affiliated. That's indexed. That school, when this thing hits, is going to go south because anybody that's connected to that school, lawyers especially, because why? Lawyers have absolute authority of the metaverses because they can interpret law, good, bad, or indifferent. And now artificial intelligence has the ability to understand these layers of deceptions by lawyers that either don't do the right thing and are either good, bad, or indifferent. So those three categories are the only categories. There's nothing in between. It's black or white. And when you take a look at the failure of these folks, like you look at Ian Thomas Tafoya, you slow down, look at, there's his. No, that's Denver Inc. He's been, 2015, he's been part of Denver Inc. Denver Inc. was the organization that made it so that they didn't hold a Denver mayoral debate. And yet he's all up in the debates. And when you see how they do the curing of the signatures, this is why we are going to fix this. But here's the tracking. Bam! May 16th. He got in on the 15th. There's his, right? Okay. Here's Marcus Giavanni. Okay, there's my PDF from Sue and Stephanie O'Malley. There's my court case. Webb and Stuhl. Webb, Joe Webb, that's Joe's brother. Excuse me, that's Wellington's brother. God, Joseph and Wellington. That's a big stretch in names. So, not making fun of it, just saying. So there's the script. You scroll down, there's the tracking for the Colorado, for me running for governor, just to learn it. And when you think about all the times that they've charged me for being late on my filings when I file on the day, and it always happened. The days I do it, it's beforehand, but I got every right to do it. I shouldn't have to do it beforehand. So if somebody decides, oh, we gave that guy $100,000, well, I got to report it now. I don't want to, no. I don't have to worry about it. Do it on the day, at the very end of the day. And either my password was expired. I got videos of it. These people think they're going to be able to manipulate it. I don't need, how do you go that many times? I mean, I might be a little retarded, but I ain't mentally retarded. And that's no pun against anybody, because I had a relative that was mentally retarded. And his name was Eric. And he used to take a key, a car key that his dad gave him, and put it in his bicycle. Okay? In Phoenix, Arizona, a long, long time ago. And he'd ride his bicycle everywhere. There's Eric on his bicycle. Hi, Eric, I ride my bicycle. Hi, everybody, hi, Eric. Hi, Eric, everybody, hi, Eric. I loved Eric, man. That's how he acted. That's how he acted. And they couldn't keep him off that bike. That's all he did, that bike. Everything was that bike. That was it. Nothing mattered. Nothing. He didn't even want to eat. He'd sleep next to his bike. But that was his crutch. Those were his crutches. That's how he got around. And one day, he used to stick that key into the handle, that little hole that had those little plastic things, like whips, would come out from the handlebar. He pulled that out, and that's where his key went. And you'd hear him, brum, start it up. And he'd go, bye, everybody. Hi, Eric. Bye, Eric. Bye, everybody. I love you. And he just drive up. And he was like 16 years old. I was just a kid. And I was probably 7 or, yeah, probably 6. Yeah, probably 6 or 7. And he was old. And he lost his key to his bike. So he walked 10 miles all the way home to get another key. Wow. And I feel like I'm dealing with people that we need to take their keys from them. And so what artificial intelligence is doing is systematically exposing those that's intentions. Because look at here, me, there's none, folks. None. Fair election funds, I'm not on that. I didn't take that money. How do you expect citizens to pay for things for elections so that the only ones that get it are the top people? Now they not only did they not have to, they raised the money they were going to get anyways, but they got taxpayer money too. They worked everybody, man. And so that's all indexed. All their smiles, all their fake bullshit. Wow. Look at that. There's nothing for me. You see that? Nothing. Because it'd be at the top, like all the other ones. Well, let's see about Leslie Harrod. What's her story? Nothing. Here's a American something PDF. I ain't clicking on that. The Honorable Leslie Harrod, Chair of the House Appropriate Committee. Every law she's passed has enabled Denver to encapsulate a 25-year murder rate. Younger kids killing each other. Because she grew up in Park Hill. Now all 11 districts are Park Hill. Because she's never lived anywhere. She's never lived in Hollywood. She's never learned to drive from the valley to Hollywood to work, where you're in traffic for an hour and it's only 5 miles away. So when you hear the stories of these people, their local stories, those stories don't match anymore. Your 5-year generations don't work anymore. This is all about merits and ability. You can either do it or you don't. The things you have done, you've either helped or hindered. And everything that this woman has done has hindered. That's the big story, folks. And if the judge got an opportunity to hear this, I could show him more information that only a judge should know. There's things in the trade secrets of digital technology that judges should know. And I've been holding out so I can teach my judges to be the best judges in the world. So that whatever court case comes in about a child, they're going to get it. But it better be true, it better be factual, everybody in it better have their their I's dotted, their T's crossed, and make sure there's no bullshit. Every case I've ever been in has been bullshit, folks. I've always been the one. I'm the one reporting it, and then they come and blame me. I don't understand it, but I do now. This ain't about me. Here's Debbie Ortega. Boom, boom. Hey, boom, boom. Lady been in office 28 years. Nothing's changed. Record high murders. She collects 3 or 4 pensions. You got, how much money does Leslie Herod collect? I know Kelly Brough collects $474,000 as Denver Chamber of Commerce, and she gets that retirement for $474,000, and she gets a $200,000 something pension from serving under Hickenlooper. And then she gets paid $150,000. She leaves a Denver Chamber 474 job for a Trump 150 job. She took a $150,000 cut in pay. Why? Because she could afford to, because she got $474,000 retirement. Now, we don't know this. I have to see her retirement package. I want to know what she got. I think if you're part of a 501(c), a retirement package should be available. Maybe there is. And nobody's paying attention to it. Well, now it's time for people to pay attention to it. Because all these women that they're mentioning to be superior super administrators fail every single one of the criterias in order to be a super administrator by Marcus Giavanni. Google search that. Super administrator by Marcus Giavanni. Now, I just barely touched on that subject, but that's one that we'll have to work on. We're going to have to give to the courts. Here's Lisa Calderon. Look. And with Lisa, when you understand Lisa, this isn't even her. Her local presence, look, is a girl from California. She has all this power. And Lisa Calderon, PDF, didn't get one. Because guaranteed, look at, and you don't even see Lisa here. That tells you that Lisa would be the worst candidate. Well, there's many of them, but for her, being the, with all the, you know, all the flipping of all her 501(c)(3)s, she let Ian Tafoya run the Latino Forum, so he's making money on that. And it's all smoke. And you look at the people that got the PDF, the picture's bigger. I mean, you got to do all the candidates, and the ones that have a PDF, and there's a couple that have them, I'm just not going to talk about it. I want people to search it. But this isn't just for the mayor's race, it's all the races. I think, I don't know. You got to do that. Check. Prove it right, prove it wrong. So this way I'm going to be proving it right. And it's going to be done by artificial intelligence. But that's pretty sad when Lisa Calderon of Denver doesn't even show up. Local search. A woman from California. And what that means is that woman there, Lisa, is doing everything that Lisa Calderon is promising to do that can't do it. This Lisa Calderon, this is where names and everything, man. You're like, well, Lisa, how come when they do a PDF, everybody shows up but you? I mean, this other Lisa Calderon, go look at what she does, pattern match it to what Lisa Calderon in Denver says, and Lisa Calderon should be running for mayor of Denver. I hate to say it, but that's pretty much, doesn't mean she'll win. Just means if you're comparing the Lisa Calderons of authority, our Lisa Calderon of Denver is a shadow troll bitch. And that's just the way it is in the digital world, folks. And don't take the bitch as being mortal and democracy sluts. These are terms that young kids are using, man. Way above any of our pay grades. And they don't want to go to war, man. They don't want to go die on someone else's land. Here's Andy, right? Look at nothing. No PDF from the city of Denver. That's because they only validated the ones they want to validate, so that their content will live on forever. And so they're propping up already the people that they're going to have to change the guards to the people that are going to be manipulated. And you want to, here's the thing right here. City and County of Denver, that's us. Colorado Politics by Marcus Giavanni. When he came out and he told everybody that he's the first GOP candidate, he already broke the Spirit Amendment. Broke. And then he's using being a veteran, being a small business owner in Arvada, and they came up with some little bullshit thing where they had, oh, well, no, he owns a business here. It's on Buzzfire. Shut up. I mean, man, folks, and my stuff here, do you guys get this? Does your dashboard show you magic? Mine does. And so if I was in front of a judge, he'd have to ask me, why is that missing? And why does it say must include? And why is it on you? And I look it up and I don't see it. Some people see it. That's because they got powers that they don't realize because of the way they carry themselves on the internet. But you got to be able to identify these things. You just can't pass them up. These are signs. Like most people look at that, they don't have no clue what that means. I know what it means. And look at this, folks. That's a lifesaver of all lifesavers, because I knew City and County of Denver LLC was going to be triumph over the downfall of our government that has been manipulating us for 60 years. And judges and them will now have to realize that they too now are judged. And it's just a matter of time before someone like me presents a retention meter, digital retention meter, so that I can instantly index all the cases of all these judges, and then the artificial intelligence will tell you if they should be retained or kicked out of the chair. And see, New York City, they banned that because they don't want that. That doesn't fit into the inequity or giving someone a job that they don't have the merits or ability, but they fit the ideology of the people that are talking. And so the people who are currently talking don't match the ideology of doing the right thing and creating content for the betterment of the World Wide Web. And we do all of that by having and controlling our own metaverses. And so I planted my seed in 1996 when all these candidates came in, and then go into the election time. I planted my conversations in 2007 when I started battling Karen Hubler, who turned magistrate judge on June 13, 2011, when I ran for mayor and sued clerk and recorder office in May 2011. You see how that works, folks? And then 2015 I came in second, but we didn't have a Denver mayoral debate, which I would have closed the deal, but I wouldn't have gotten done what I've gotten done over the 2015 to 2019 elections. And then 2019 elections, that was a different beast. I used their e-sign verification. And what happened is I was chosen because I was a main source of that story to index the e-sign verification. And we took it to court just to find that out of 99 candidates, only screwed up on one. Me. The most important of all candidates in the digital world of the metaverse. And so that's why you see what you see in regards to Andy. And any Republican that votes for them, you're going to mess up your social credit system, because, and you all think it ain't going to come. Remember 1970. Look up when financial credit started. And look at the apps. If you've got an app on your phone, this is me. You know, I own socialcreditrepair.com, social credit system scores and rankings.com. These are platforms that Denver has if it was a brick and mortar, and we're going to place businesses in this thing, in this thing. You see how I talk, folks? I'm not perfect, but the platforms I have aren't perfect either, but they're verified, they're charged up, and they're ready to go. And they're all operated on voice latent prints of everybody in regards to everybody on the World Wide Web. And our voice latent prints are the new digital prints along with our ISP addresses. And anybody, I'm going to give another warning to people, anybody that uses DuckDuckGo or any other application that blocks your identity from surfing the net, it's just a matter of time before they knock on the door and you get arrested. But there's a lot to go between now and then, but when it does show up, it goes faster than a man that had 5 kids and one day is just 60 and you're like, where did it all go? What? Man, time went so fast. And when you get older, it goes faster. So, wake up, Denver. You're about to be had, but don't worry, I saved us all. When these people pull off this election, because there's no judge that got any wherewithal or anything, who knows? I don't know. I haven't tried. I'm gonna. I always gotta, not just gonna, gotta do the work. That's what I do. I watch all these people that come in. When you look at the way they do the petitions, I've been monitoring that. You got one candidate, Leslie Harrod, made her own petitions and turned them in the same day. I mean, wow. Speaking of which, so when you look at, this is Leslie Harrod. See, they don't have this on here right. You can't, they do it on purpose, folks. And when you try to print it, it don't print out. It's all done by design. The ballots, the writing is so small that you can't really read it, especially if you're doing it at nighttime. So you got to have a flashlight. And they moved it now to January, the worst season of the cold. And it's already been proven that. And you're going to look at the next few weeks. In February, we'll go off and on. But January tends to be our worst winter. Now, when you look at her, she got her petitions like when she picked them up. She didn't. She printed her own. And you go up here. Petitions returned. 14. She got it done in less than 6 days. And they were good. Whoops, sorry. Right here. See that? They're good. See, and you always got to scroll down to, and that's all you see. That's ridiculous, folks. But you look at all these other mayors. Like here's a mayor. We don't even know their name. Got it in 12-15. How many days? Another mayor. Boom. Got it in 6 days. So let's look at who these people are. Oh, Kelly Brough. She had it less than 1 day. You see, folks, it's all rigged. They have people in the Democratic Party that they call up and they systematically feed those people to those people. That's why Ian Tafoya would look at the people that sit on the ballot committee. That's all fake too, folks. That's all fake. And when you understand how fake all this stuff is, you'll be able to make a determination on what we need to do, because artificial intelligence is about to index Denver as an illegitimate government. And if you all want to take that chance, and the evidence is right in front of you, and see, now what they've done is they've built up all these people right here that haven't ended. And as you get into the time of how come these people can go and collect signatures in 1 day, and how many are they collecting? You know, you just, oh yeah, it's it, but they don't tell you. Because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know their secrets. And this is how a Democrat has stayed in power. Because when you look at the people that run the elections office, when I'm mayor, they're all going to get fired. And for me, I don't need to ask where your hardware is. I'll find it myself. And I'll find all the wires in the drop ceiling, any wires in the floor. I'll find it all. And I'll look at all the software. I'll look at all the entry logs, and I can do it instantly because I can use wizardknowsalltellsall.com or Google Crystal Ball or disinformation.us, disinformationczar.us. in the fair elections, when the committee is ran, Ian Tafoya sits on the committee that counts the ballot, that makes sure the ballot machines are correct. Ian Tafoya was the only one that got a PDF file. See, they award these people with these type of accolades that no one else gets so that they can build up a stronger life. Well, Ian Tafoya, if you hashtag believe Ian, that's his handle. I verified it, and his content does not. And if a judge could see what that is, he would be scratching his head and say, Giovanni, tell me what this means. This is kind of unbelievable. It's called digital forensic evidence, Your Honor. And I use digital, I use object-oriented programming with embedded voice prints that our suspects or our identifiers use during a course of conversations in regards to whatever it is they do or they represent. And so now artificial intelligence instantly searches for that person, her or his words, and looks for content either by GPS, cell phone tower pings, you name it, anything it can use to find the most pertinent information in regards to their handle. And then when people go and use handles for the wrong reason or whatever, in my world, I do that. I am do Marcus Giovanni Observer Indexer. I've created some badass applications, folks, that's going to create residual income. And our city employees, they're going to start at $30 an hour. And they're going to get raises and bonuses, and it's going to be fun, fun, fun. I'm going to teach them how to protect their avatars. They have to remove their faces from the internet. Sad news, but when you look what the smart countries are doing with their kids and you don't see all their shit, they know. They know the rules. They know turning their phones off. They know everything. Like when you turn your phone off, you better have an alibi. You better have it documented in the mortal world, because anybody can say anything during that one time that your phone's off and you're I've learned a lot about this digital forensic evidence, and we're going to teach our law enforcement that don't want to learn from any outside sources for whatever sub-bias or stuff that they encounter during their snoop sessions.